time for Media Meltdowns, and Democrat Aftyn Behn, who's running to represent Nashville in Congress, has been on a media blitz. But despite some very obvious, straightforward questions, she cannot bring herself to admit that funding the police is a good thing.
Crime is, of course, also was a major issue in the presidential election, and I know there are some old posts. You've been asked about those old posts a number of times. My question for you today is whether more money for cops on the streets in the district you hope to represent would help fight crime. Would you like more money for more cops on the streets in your district?
So those past comments were at a time when I was a private citizen, as an activist and organizer, and now as a Tennessee lawmaker, I represent 40,000 individual opinions and political thought.
Right, so what do you think now? Would more money for cops be good or bad?
I think it depends on what the community wants. And so I've worked with communities, at least my constituents, want to ensure that there is investment in their community for community safety, community protection, mental health services. And that's what I'm hearing from at least my constituents.
All right. And then the CNN anchor just moves on. And this is what she's previously said.
Well, I'm currently involved in a transformative justice seminar, and so it's how to imagine a world without police and what that looks like and what community mechanisms look like, how people can not police themselves, but what, for example, if you experience sexual assault, like what is the reconciliation process and what does transformative justice look like? Because as we know, like you can't take those things to court. Like, you know, our legal system is terrible when it comes to retribution. So anyways, all that to say is that like I hope all of you, so one, I'll have a podcast on it, and I highly recommend, like if it's been difficult for all of you to imagine a world without police, please tune in to maybe not this episode but the next one, because I'll talk about things I'm learning and growing as an organizer, because I think especially for those of us that are young, like and talking to our parents about what police abolition looks like, that we can do it, and there is a world.
Yeah, fantasizing about a world without police. This charming, rational woman also claims that she despises the city that she's running to represent in Congress.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city, I hate the bachelorettes, I hate the pedal taverns, I hate country music, I hate all of the things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country, but I hate it. Yeah, I'm that girl at the airport that all these bachelorettes are giddy walking out in their two-toned colored Pantone pink shirts, and they walk out and they're like, oh my god, Nashville is so bad!
They're so loud.
And does she still hate Nashville?
I want to ask you about it because I'm wondering, do you think it was a mistake to say that?
Once again, I was a private citizen. Nashville is my home. Do I roll my eyes at the bachelorette parties and the pedal taverns that are blocking my access to my house? Yeah, every Nashvilleian does. But this race has always been about something bigger. It's about families across Middle Tennessee that are getting crushed by rising prices, while Washington politicians and billionaires argue about this type of nonsense.
Joining us now is CJ Pearson, RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair. Yes, the answer is yes, she does still hate Nashville. I can't believe this. I mean, the Democrats really do an exceptional job of finding such unlikable candidates, don't they, CJ? Who also just give terrible interviews. But Aftyn Behn, she could at least do what Mamdani is doing now and pretending you're less woke and less crazy than you used to be. But she can't even answer direct questions, CJ.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gabriella. And at least Zohran Mamdani pretended to love New York despite hating America. This woman can't even love Nashville, which is incredible to see. To sit here on a national platform and say that you hate country music, you hate bachelorettes, everything that makes Nashville, Nashville, but yet somehow strive to be their congresswoman in the United States Congress. Well, I don't think that's going to go over too well with those voters. And so, honestly, I'll make a prediction here. I'm very confident that she will be roundedly defeated, and rightfully so.
Here is what Donald Trump had to say about her.
Taxes. She wants to raise your taxes on top of everything else. But she said two things above all else that bothered me. Number one, she hates Christianity. Number two, she hates country music. How the hell can you elect a person like that?
I mean, CJ, he's right. Donald Trump is right. It's a huge red flag when someone doesn't like country music. I'm in Australia, and I don't think I know anyone who doesn't love the country music coming from America.
No, if even the Aussies like the country music coming from America, if you're gonna live in Nashville and represent the people of Nashville, you've got to love a little bit of Riley Green, Morgan Wallen, and maybe we'll throw in some Cole Swindell there. He's a Georgia boy. And so, it's absolutely goes to show they're running those inauthentic candidates that they have, and people who are just brazenly out of touch with the actual, the people of this city and that state. And so, again, I hope that the people of Nashville will see through this farce and will see through her George Soros funded campaign. And I think elect a Republican nominee who I think will have a great night tonight.
CJ, let's talk about the fake news. And I know I put you through a lot of crazy left-wing media, and I'm sorry for it, but this is wild. The stories that the media are running with at the moment. The New York Times has been pushing a story claiming that there are signs of fatigue when it comes to Donald Trump. I mean, what a load of BS. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has blasted the New York Times correspondent, Katie Rogers, for this. And if you want to look at someone struggling with fatigue, let's look at Joe Biden. So, CJ, while this was going on, while the world was watching Joe Biden's sad, obvious decline, the media was covering it up. The media was complicit in the cover-up. And now we have Donald Trump, who was full of energy. He's the most entertaining president, as well as probably the most successful that we've ever seen. And they're running stories saying that there are signs of fatigue.
It's absolutely insane, especially after going through 4 years of a Joe Biden presidency where that man's biggest fears were President Donald Trump and a flight of stairs. And we want to sit here and pretend as if Donald Trump is losing his faculties. It is absolutely insane. But what's incredible about this story is the media can't quite figure out which narrative they want to push. Is this a man who has too much energy or a man who has not enough? Because just yesterday, I read a story from Axios, where they said that President Trump was unwell because he tweeted 100 times between the hours of 12 and 5 a.m. Now, I got to tell you, I was asleep during that time. So if this president can stay up and speak about the issues that are going on in America and across the world with the vitality that he does, the energy that he does, then I think that he's going to be A-okay. And I think many people see that every time they see this president go up to the podium, go up to a mic and speak to the issues that are on the minds of the American people.
Well said. Well, here is Donald Trump speaking to the media today.
But you always find something new, like, is he in good health? Biden was great, but is Trump in good health? I sit here, I do 4 news conferences a day. I ask questions from very intelligent lunatics, you people. I give the right answers. There's never a scandal. There's never a problem. I give you answers that solve your little problems. You go back and you can't find anything, but you do stories about Biden was in wonderful health. The guy didn't do a news conference for 8 months. If I go one day, I had one day where I didn't do a news conference, there's something wrong with the president.
He is right. I mean, he will hold long press conferences, he'll bring camera operators and reporters into cabinet meetings for hours, give so much access, and it's not enough.
It's never enough for these people, and nothing will ever be enough for these people because they have their pre-baked narratives that they're looking to perpetuate about this president, that somehow he is not rising to the occasion, that he's not the strong commander-in-chief that we know him to be. But the American people see through it because we know him and we know his leadership and we know the results that he's brought about. We would not be in the place that we are in the world, would not be in the place that we are as a country right now without his leadership, which is all in all the time. And so, to be quite frank, all of this entire, hoopla about is the president okay? Is he doing well? He's doing more than well. He's doing exceptional.
Well said. Now, on to another story. The Department of Homeland Security has revealed an illegal immigrant allegedly responsible for a fatal crash that killed 2 people in Oregon was given a commercial driver's license by California, of course, which is under Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, the agency also said that the illegal was led into the country and given work authorization by the Biden administration. But CJ, this continues a spate of several high-profile accidents involving, illegals that were issued driver's licenses by sanctuary states. Just a few months ago, in August, an illegal immigrant driving a semi-truck made an illegal U-turn in Florida, which resulted in people being killed. Can I get your reaction to this?
It's incredibly troubling, and I hope that the families of these victims will sue, folks like Governor Gavin Newsom and others responsible for everything that they're worth, because they deserve justice and they deserve reprieve. All of these people, let's be quite frank, need to be deported from this country. It's exactly why when people say, "Oh, we just need to target criminal illegal aliens," I roll my eyes, because breaking into this country, invading this country, is a crime within itself. And so you've already committed a crime. You're already a criminal illegal alien in my eyes, in the eyes of the American people. So let's send you back from where you came. Simple as that. And so when I look at Gavin Newsom saying he's going to run for president, I don't think the families of these victims will be all that eager to support his candidacy anytime soon.
CJ Pearson, RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to see you, my friend.